Hello Taurus, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. If you are new, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy the reading. It's a general reading, so some of it may apply to you, or all of it may apply to you, or it could also apply to somebody that you are close to at this time. So it's interchangeable. If you have a strong influence in your birth chart associated with another sign, then please feel free to cross-watch to my other videos for further insights. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear at this time. So in the first house, we have the air element communicating. So your first house is the house of yourself, your appearance, your vitality, your physical body, exactly how you look. It's also how you are perceived by others. So it's your personality, your characteristics, and it's also how you project yourself outward to other people. So what you are projecting is also going to be perceived by them. So that all comes under the first house. It's also your self-oriented interests, whether this is a physical activities or just everything to do with yourself. Okay, so now with air element communicating coming in there, this is, you may be wanting to initiate something in this house, or you need to be making some kind of decision. It really depends on how you are using the energies. But if you are approaching something and you need to just weigh it up, then this is telling you to think things through before taking action. Mull it over in your mind, weigh it up, use your reasoning abilities, and do everything you can so that you can clearly see what needs to be done. You may also need to put down in words what it is that you want, because that's a really powerful action from your thoughts into actual words and then writing. You're going to need to be honest with yourself and honest with others as well. Yeah, this card may also bring in the energy of you having to be inventive in some way. So whether this is reinventing yourself or how you communicate with others or how you appear to others or just your appearance in general, or how you are projecting yourself outwards, possibly just the way you are communicating, and also the way you are moving forward in the world. So it's your personal independence. So you may be changing that up as well. And you could also be just feeling young or looking younger, or your energy is high, or you may just be feeling youthful or have a youthful outlook, or you are wanting to bring those aspects into your life. So you may be needing to change things up in order to feel more youthful, or to examine your attitudes to see if you can perhaps broaden your mind a little bit and have a more outgoing outlook. This can all come in for you. This card is also the card of manifestation. So your self-talk, how you talk to yourself, so what you think and what you say really needs to be positive at this time, because then that is what you're going to manifest. And it's a habit that you need to develop. It doesn't come easily at first. It's actually quite difficult to maintain that every day. So it's something that you have to work on. But once you start doing it and you are aware of what you're saying and what you're thinking, then you can very easily steer it in the correct direction. So yeah, it's really it's what you think and what you say is what you're going to create with this card. Then in the second house we have Cancer, I feel. So this is a feeling card. It's ruled by the moon. So the second house deals with your income, your money that's coming in. And it also deals with your possessions, what you own. And that's going to be property as well. It's also your self-worth, your sense of self-worth, and your value systems, so what you value. So what you value in yourself, what you value in others, what you value in your material possessions, any kind of value system. And this also obviously is linked in some ways to money, your money coming in. So with Cancer, I feel, as I said, it's ruled by the moon, so things are cyclical, things go through phases. So whether this is your money coming in, perhaps you going through ups and downs or through different types of phases and cycles. Yeah, so this could also be perhaps you have an interest with the stock market, which is ruled by the moon. Perhaps you can study that further and track when it's opportune to buy and when it's opportune to sell and so on. So that's all to do with money and utilizing your money efficiently. But just be aware that there will be cycles and changes going on. So things will be changeable in that area. This could also just be about you following your feelings as well, going with your gut feels. You might find that emotion is high at this time for some reason in this house. Perhaps money is tight and you have issues that you need to deal with, or something to do with that. But emotion could be high. You could also just be really, really sensitive at this time. Feeling so sensitive in some cases that you may just need to withdraw periodically to keep yourself balanced. But it's also about being resilient. So when you have cyclical money issues, or where you're riding the waves with that, you do have to be resilient to keep yourself going. So put whatever measures you need to in place to deal with that. This could also be to do with moods. So you're monitoring your moods, because this also affects your self-worth and it affects your values as well. You could also be wallowing in a few memories or issues from the past or things that happened in the past. You can look at them, examine them, and then let them go, but you mustn't live there. You can't live in the past. You can only live in the present. You may also just be feeling a little bit alone periodically. Perhaps you're grappling with various types of issues and feeling a little bit alone. There could also be domestic issues of some sort which are requiring attention. You could have a mother or a maternal figure involved with this card, or women and women's issues, how women get along. All of those may come in with this card. Also having old-fashioned views. So perhaps that needs to be changed up a little bit, or just adjusted slightly to move with the times. You could also be, if you're thinking about memories in the past, or you're dealing with things from the past, it could be in connection with buying and selling items from the past. So this would be antiques and things like that. This could also come into this house. So it's really very much to do with money, but also your self-worth and your values, what you own. Then in the third house, we have part of fortune increase. So this is a lovely card to be having in this house. It's a lovely card to have anywhere. So in this house, the third house is the house of communication. So this is all forms of communication, whether it's written, verbal, it could even be your body language. It's however you communicate, or it could also be communication coming in to you. So this communication can be with the wider public or with people in general, but it's also to do with specific family members. So this can be cousins, siblings, aunts and uncles, and also neighbors can come in with this. So it's also the house of short trips, local trips. So now with this, it may also be covering issues to do with documents and contracts, because that's written. So anything of the written word that comes to you at this time. With the part of fortune increase, it's a very fortunate aspect to be having. It indicates good flow. It indicates successes coming. It indicates benefits of some kind coming to you. They may just fall in your lap, in fact. It also is a very good card for anything to do with public relations and promotional work. So it's very favorable conditions for that. So harness that if you can to really get things done and to get your points across. It's a destiny and a fate card. So there could be karmic triggers which trigger things for you, and there could be good things for you. Whether this is stirring your own particular talents and abilities which you haven't really harnessed as yet. Something will stir them to action. And these are talents and gifts that you have that have just not really been used or not been acknowledged for some reason. And you may need to study and learn further to harness those talents and gifts. It could also be teaching of some kind. So it's really getting communication across in some way towards others. You're basically going to be moving ahead with this card in this house, and that success will come to you, and there will be benefits coming to you in conjunction with this, because it's destiny and fate as well. Then in the fourth house, we have fire element desire. So your fourth house is your house of home, your physical home, the actual structure, but also the atmosphere in your home and the people in your home. So it's also the relationship that you have with your particular foundation, your roots, your ancestry, where you've come from, your foundation. It's your relationship with that. Now, with the fire element desire coming in, this is about getting started, taking action on something new. This is about finding the courage to do that, and also the passion to do that. So in whatever way that comes in for you in the fourth house, it could also be a change in direction, a sudden change of direction, whether you're intent on living in a specific place and then you change your mind and you go for something else. It could also very well be quick changes of some kind. So you may have an epiphany or a wake-up call of some kind as well, which stirs you into action. And that may be in the direction of your dreams, or in the directions of something that you've been mulling over and wanted to do, but you suddenly find the courage and the wherewithal to get it done. You may, if it's to do with somebody in your home, you may have to take assertive action with someone to get clear, to put your cards on the table and get clear about everything, to clear the air. That may need to be done. You may also need to just protect your interests in some way as well. Maybe there's influences in your home which don't have your best interests at heart. So just be aware of that. If you're redoing your home in some way, or you're changing your home in some way, you can bring in the warmth and the fiery element into your home. So those are the colors associated with that. Make your home warm and welcoming. And associated with that is anything to do with fire, and also electrical things and anything in the kitchen. So just be aware that some issues may arise to do with that as well. Perhaps something you didn't expect may come in for you. Then in the fifth house, we have Aquarius. I know your fifth house is the house of your creativity, creative projects that you may be working on, or your own personal creativity with whatever you do. It's not necessarily artistic. This can be in the way you speak, or the way you dress, or the way you conduct yourself, or the way you dress your house for parties or your dinner tables. There's lots of ways that creativity can come in. And it's also the house of children, whether they are your children or children that you are associated with. It's the house of love affairs. A love affair, and it's also the house of activities of all kinds. This is fun, recreational activities, or risk-taking activities, like gambling or stock exchange, that sort of thing. All comes into the fifth house. So now, with Aquarius, I know Aquarians are futuristic by nature. So you may be facing one or two challenges in this house in some way, but it's also about glimpses of the future, or trends, or technology of some kind. So whether this is through your creative projects, or or your children, perhaps your children are involved in something, but it's basically glimpses of the future in some way. It could even be science fiction. You could also be doing or involved with unconventional activities of some kind, or you're involved with unconventional people in those activities, or they're visiting you, or you're involved with them in some way. Perhaps it's a creative project, or perhaps it's people that your children are associated with. But these people or these activities are exotic, a bit eccentric. The people may be cutting edge from a technology point of view as well. You may also be mastering something new, whether this is a new technology or a new activity. So it's mastering something new. You could also you will have also the support of friends and friendly alliances in certain ways. So these will be supportive of your goals. So whatever your goals are in the 5th house, this is a very social aspect, and they will support you at this time. But it is, as I said, really about glimpsing the future and mastering technology and new things. That all comes in with this card. Then in the 6th house, we have solar eclipse revolution. So your 6th house is your house of work projects, work colleagues, workplace, your daily routines around that. It's also it covers, it's the house of pets, and it's also the house of health and diet. So now I feel with this, probably it's associated with making changes, or changes will be coming for you in some way. So there is a revolution of some kind. So you're going to be going through a change or an upheaval. More than likely it will be swift, a swift ending and then a beginning of some kind. It could also be the change of lifestyle that you're currently living. Something better come. You need to change it up in some way, really, quite dramatically, in order to give yourself look after your health and have a better lifestyle. It could be that related to that as well, or it could be work related. If you're not in a workplace and you work for yourself, it's mastery of your craft. That is the 6th house as well. But there's going to be some kind of revolution going on, some kind of change. But it's more than likely will be swift. It's a kind of a jolt, really. And the jolt is to move you out of what is familiar to you, out of that and into new terrain. And you will feel uncomfortable in this rearrangement going on. You will feel uncomfortable and really not sure what's going on until you start to find your feet. But that shift and upheaval is necessary. It's a necessary change coming in for you. So once you've been through it, you will see that whatever was changed and removed or fell away was necessary for it to go, because it was holding you back in some way. Okay, so you may also be required to dive in to fix or change something, and by doing that, by taking action, you will create something much better. So don't be afraid to do that. Self-mastery comes in with this, because what you're doing is you're going through a changing circumstance where nothing is familiar. What you've counted on falls away, and now you've really got to be resourceful and go after what you want to do, and really weather that whole phase. And while you're doing that, you're gaining self-mastery. You're gaining self-mastery of yourself, what it is you're doing, what's happening in this house for you. You may also be breaking old patterns. Perhaps you've been stuck in a rut and a routine, doing the same job repeatedly over and over, bored out of your mind, but just doing it anyway because it earns an income. Well, this card comes along, this energy comes along, and everything shifts. And now you've got to break that old pattern and move forward. So dive in, fix or change something, make it better. And just stay present throughout the whole process as well, because it forces you to do that. As I said, it could also be a change of lifestyle, massive change of lifestyle for you, to bring you better health, better diet, better nutrition, whatever it is that's coming in for you. But it's also about looking after yourself as well. Then in the 7th house, we have water element sensing. So now your 7th house is your house of close personal one-on-one relationships. And this can be a love relationship, but it can also be a business partnership, or some other relationship that you're close to, at this time, somebody that you're one-on-one with. Now, with this coming in, if there are dramas going on around you, or it's a little bit stormy, don't just let it pass you by. Don't get involved. Just this card is about looking inward and following your feelings, going with the current. Go with the current at this time. This is about being still and gathering your resources and your energies, because your energy is going to be low at this time. You're not going to have excess energy to be putting into other people's dramas or into difficult conditions. You just want to gather and keep it all in and be still and just rest really at this time. This is a pause period before action needs to be taken. So there's a lot of inner processing going on. And you may come across as a little bit quiet. You may need to withdraw periodically to just balance yourself. You will be feeling very sensitive, sensitive to your own needs, but also to other people's. And being sensitive to other people's needs and what's going on, just be aware that you don't allow others to take advantage of you during this period. You don't want people to pin you down over certain things either. You want to be fluid. You want to be going with the current. It could also be that you may need to spend time near bodies of water. So whether that's the beach, the sea or a lake or a river, something like that, just to rest and gather your energies, to gather your resources at this time. Then in the 8th house, we have Grand Cross Provoker. So this card brings in quite a restrictive energy. This is coming into your 8th house, which is the house of big finance. So this is insurance, investments, banking, taxes, accounting, inheritances, legacies, trusts, all those sorts of things. And it's also dealing with other people's money, handling other people's money, whether you do that as a profession or whether you're involved in some way. It's also the house of the deeper commitment between partners. So whether this is a love partnership or a business partnership, it's the merging of your resources, emotional and physical and material. So it's the merging of those together. It's the deeper sexual issues in a relationship, but it's also the actual material things and the other emotional resources that go into merging in a partnership. If it's a business partnership, it will involve accounting and legal issues and all kinds of money-related issues coming in. So it's the merging of those. This also falls out into the 8th house. So this house is, this card coming in is going to indicate some pressure being applied. You may be a little bit frustrated with certain things, or you may be just feeling quite overwhelmed with everything coming at you at once. You may feel like you're juggling lots of different things at once. The only way really to deal with this this kind of very strong, hard angles coming at you all in the same period is really to prioritize what is most important for you. So prioritize, focus on those priorities one after the other. You must get organized as well and just focus on those. It's like laser-like vision. And also communicate well with others, because then, sometimes when things get difficult like this and you feel pressured and frustrated, sometimes you don't communicate properly. So it is a growth period. It's a testing period. So there will be some sacrifices and compromises that need to be made. But it really is a realistic look at things so that you can build towards a solid future. It's taking stock. That's what this card is about. But when you do that, you've got a whole lot of things coming at you at once. And when you take stock and prioritize, then you can start moving forward. Once you gain momentum, then everything will be fine. But it's just that initial growth phase where you just feel a bit overwhelmed. So that may be coming in for you. Then in the 9th house, we have Libra Eye Balance. So 9th house is the international house, really. It's you meeting the world, or the world meeting you in some way. So it could be international travel. It could be higher education. So this is university level education and study. It's also adult education. It's also philosophy, religion, and belief systems of all kind, all fall under the 9th house. Traveling. But also apart from that, it's linked to publishing and teaching also comes into this house. Promotional work of all kinds. The law, the higher courts come in here. And your relationship to your in-laws if you have them. But it really is about gaining wisdom, and that is through interactions with the world. So this is interactions with foreign cultures, foreign people. So this could be online, or it could be literally physically traveling, but it's exploration, and whether that's exploration of the mind and exploring different concepts, whether it's religion or belief systems or actual physical exploration and adventure, all of these aspects come into the 9th house. So with Libra Eye Balance coming in, what it's saying is that it's Partnership is well indicated with this, or linking up with another in some way. So that is highlighted with this card in this house. So you can work it out how it's applying for you, but it's basically forming an alliance, or there's mutual support. So whether you're wanting to travel somewhere and you want to link up with somebody to travel, it's very well indicated for that. Or it could be that you're involved in some kind of aspect of the ninth house, which is it could be learning, or it could be teaching, or it could be public promotion in some way, or publishing, but it's linking up with another for mutual support, or some kind of alliance or partnership is well indicated. It could also be that you're being invited to a wedding, and it's an overseas wedding, so you will be traveling for that. So it's an international trip for that. Or you could be involved in a marriage of some kind, and you're actually traveling associated with that. So whether that's with a partner, you're getting married and you're traveling, or it is to do with you're connected to this in some way. It's also about appreciation of beauty and refinement. So this is the arts, and this could be live music, galleries, museums, fashion, beauty. So you could be traveling for that as well, or you could be bringing that into a trip that you're involved in, whether it's a work trip, something to do with your profession, but it's all indicated with this card. It could also be that you are facing or have a legal issue which is coming in for you in any one of the ninth house areas. So a legal issue could be coming up there, or it's been around for a while. But with the Libra card coming in, you can expect to find resolution now for that. So it will get settled, and it should settle in your favor, or it will be very fair and a just outcome. So that may come in for you. But also the other aspect of this card is that you may be needing to make a decision of some kind. You may have been sitting on the fence on something in the ninth house, some kind of indecision there. Sitting on the fence, and now it's time to get off. You really do need to make the decision. You must make it yourself, otherwise the decision will be made for you. Then in the 10th house, this is the house of career. This is the house of career, ambition, fame, reputation, public status, authority figures, whether that's somebody in your family or other people that you work with, whatever, it's an authority figure, or the authorities. So now this is doubly highlighted with Capricorn, because Capricorn is normally the 10th house is its home house. So career and ambition and your fame and reputation and your public status is very much indicated with this. So you may find that this card coming into your 10th house, your ambition is really highlighted at this time. Your focus, and you feel driven to achieve what you're setting for yourself. So this is about goal setting and being driven in that. It's determination. You're going to be moving up the ladder as well. And you will do that even more so when you are diligent and you put your shoulder to the wheel. That's what this card is asking you to do. It's not a quick moving energy. So this is slow and steady, and there's going to be rules that you're going to have to work with. But it's about slow and steady, getting there one brick at a time, and it really is having incredible focus and ambition. Your status and reputation is highlighted with this as well. So whether you're changing that or whether you're gaining that, I feel it's that you're gaining that. You're meeting influential people as well, which are going to assist you, or which will make very good networks for you. You may also be having a mentor of some kind in your life. So this is an authority figure that may come in to assist you now, or to just lead you in some way. This person is probably older, has a higher social rank, and they could be a bit of a taskmaster, but it may be necessary at this time because it's a learning phase, or it could just be a leader that you're involved with. You may also have some kind of outstanding issue with the 10th house, something that has been kind of unresolved up till now. Well, with this card coming in, you can expect to find resolution of some kind on this issue, but whatever it is, it will be just and fair. Then in the 11th house, we have Sagittarius IC. Your 11th house is your house of your friendships. It's also the house of networks, any kind of group that you're associated with, whether it's a social group or a society or an association or a club, whatever it is. It's also the house of your personal hopes and dreams, your wishes, and your personal hobbies and interests as well. So this house also has a kind of a futuristic aspect to it. So it's you looking into the future, and it's also you being able to sense trends and currents out there. And this could be global or group consciousness or even social reform and causes. So it's you being able to look at all of those and actually see the movement in your life around you. With Sagittarius, I see coming in, this is going to bring in a sort of a lucky circumstance or a breakthrough of some kind in this house. You could also be going through a socializing period where you're socializing more, your popularity is high, you're going to be outgoing, there's going to be fun and sporty activities even. So it's about getting out there and really being much more social possibly than you have been. It could also be, if that's not applying for you, then it could also just be about you speaking your truth in some way, about being honest. Because Sagittarians speak their truth, they really do, and sometimes people don't like it when they do that. So it could be affecting a friendship of yours, something like that. But it's about being honest and having integrity as well. With this card coming in, you may want to avoid routine at this time because you're going to be feeling a little bit restless, I feel. So possibly the groups that you've been involved with or the activities that you've been getting into perhaps has become a bit routine. Now you need to change things up, give yourself much more freedom. Freedom is very much the hallmark of this card. So it's fine to avoid routine and enjoy yourself and start changing things up, but not so much that you lose sight of your goals or what it is you're actually trying to achieve at this time. Exploration and adventure could come in with this. Learning, religion or philosophy may also come in with this. So you may be joining different groups, changing things up, changing the groups you are part of, involved with currently, or to do with a hobby and an interest of yours. So yeah, it's about freedom and having a breakthrough of some kind and perhaps changing things up. Then in the 12th house we have Venus, love. So this is a lovely card anywhere that it appears, and it's coming into your 12th house. Your 12th house is the house of your unconscious, so what your drives and ambitions are underneath the surface. So this is not necessarily even something that you're completely aware of. So it's that sort of deeper side of yourself. It's also mysticism, your spiritual life, your ability to meditate. It's healing as well. And it's also about time and reflection, so retreat and withdrawal of some kind. All of these issues come under the 12th house. It's also the house of escapism and addictions of all kinds, and it's also the house of service. So you may be in service work, and that is indicated for you, or you like to do service work. It's also the house of karmic lessons coming up. Okay, so with Venus love coming in, this is going to bring a lovely, loving energy in. So it may be that you need to just lay that on yourself a bit. So love yourself at this time. Enjoy the lovely vibes of Venus, and just spoil yourself a little bit. Enjoy your creature comforts. Make yourself comfortable. Enjoy a few home treats, and just bring a bit of romance and beauty into your life for yourself. You may also be required to do that for others. So whether you work in the profession where you need to bring that in, or you just need to spread a bit of love and charm around, because it's a very charming sign. This and it's a very charming energy, and it's a very compassionate aspect to be coming in, but it's also the card of refinement, so obtaining refinement in some way. So creature comforts, romance comes in with this. You could also be involved in some way with the arts, so beauty, fashion, nightlife, movies, entertainment, any of those aspects come in, and any kind of artistic endeavor is highly indicated with this. So this could be something that you want to do or something you need to do for yourself, or you may be going on some kind of retreat where these activities are part of the retreat, very well indicated for you at this time, very good thing for yourself to be doing. It's a form of self-care when you go on these retreats and you enjoy being there. But it's about being comfortable and happy with yourself, and making your environment a romantic and beautiful environment if you can do that. So you may be attracting luxuries, or you may be spending money on luxuries. So just be aware of the spending side of it, because your money houses are under stress at this time. So just be aware of that. You don't have to do massive things to make yourself feel loved and appreciated. You could also be settling a dispute of some kind in this house. So there could be a legal issue or money associated with it. With Venus coming in, you just pour the charm on and things should just flow, and resolution should be found. With this card as well, you may also be experiencing a new love, so a new love coming into your life, or the renewal of an existing one, or an old love. Okay, so that could be coming in as well for you. Okay, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe or share, as if once you share it, then other people, it will get elevated and other people will start to see the reading as well. But you have a great month and take care, and I will see you next time.